I think it's a great question. It's coming from an anonymous audience member. It's one of the best MLOps infrastructure tools right now, but I want to modify that question a little bit. How do you determine what's the right MLOps infrastructure tool for your team?
Usually you have certain requirements for your product. For example, for us, the requirement was it's supposed to be cloud agnostic. So that's one criteria. Another criteria is just how easy and what is their threshold to learn the tool. It can be another showstopper if your team cannot adopt it easily to use it. And usually depends on your product, you have some technical limitations that you need to consider, maybe programming languages, the deployment footprint, and etc. So we usually just develop criteria the way how we evaluate. We put the weights the way what is important for us. The features is important, and we just design the test, and we usually try to test a couple of the approaches, not just focusing on the one. Or if there is a tool or MLOps platform that works for everyone, doesn't mean that it works for you. And you definitely do want to explore a couple of them and maybe focus on let's say, pick 3 and do a little spikes and POCs to see which one is the best for you.
I was going to add, I think like Art was spot on. I would say 100% of what he said. In addition to that, I think it's really tough though too, because these tools are changing all the time. So like where we're at today is going to change so much in just a few years, I feel like, as the industry matures and coalesces around. This is the right pattern and tooling. So really exciting and challenging time to figure out what the right stack is for your business.
One thing to add there, Chris, and I think you implicitly mentioned that what we're seeing with all these companies that we work with and we speak to is we're starting to shy away from like this one magic solution that does everything end to end, from orchestration to deployment to monitoring. There's just a lot of scope in each one of these problems. And then we're starting to see companies like you guys assemble a stack, and the stack could be part vendor driven, part open source, part homebrew. But it looks like, from at least from our conversations, it's very much going that route. And obviously, typically the cloud provider's own component of it, or even if you have an on-prem, but kind of buying into one thing really limits the flexibility. And we're seeing a lot of customers that maybe took that approach 5 years ago, 3 years ago, starting to feel that lack of flexibility. And as soon as something breaks, you don't have a lot of customization. You don't have a lot of room to move there. So moving to like the more stack approach